Hey, what's up everyone, this is Ram here, back with another video and with our new lesson. So today we are going to learn about input attributes in HTML and HTML5 both, like the previous version of HTML and HTML5. So let's get into it. The first attribute I'm going to cover is a value attribute. So let me say here value. Okay. And here I'm going to say form, starting it with a form using an input, and the type of this input is text. I'm assigning it name. So first of all I should write here first name and line break, tag or element, and now here I'm going to say first name, and the value is Jessica. Now what this value attribute is doing here, the value attribute specifies the initial value for an input field. Like when we go to the browser and we can see here that here is already a value is mentioned, the first name already is written here, which is Jessica. So this is what the value attribute do for us. It initializes the input field. Okay, now the next value, the next attribute is disable attribute. So I'm saying break, line break, and here I should say last name, line break, and input type is text, name, last name, and the value here is brown, and then I'm going to say disabled. Okay, this disabled attribute, it specifies that the input field is disabled, it is unclickable and unusable. We cannot use it, we cannot click it for anything, we cannot write within this field, we cannot use it for submitting. Okay, we cannot do anything with this disabled field. So let's go to the browser and check here. You can see here the brown, it is disabled. A slightly gray color or a gray shade is filled with this field, within this field. So you can see the first name, if I try to remove it, it is going to be here. We can say it is by default, or it initialized, but let me write here. I have written a David. Okay, so okay, it is not going to change. I've mentioned you before. So let me say again, and what I want to show I forgot. This David is here, we can write here, but when I bring my cursor here, it is not clickable, it is not doing any, it is not performing any sort of function, so it is disabled. We can use this disabled attribute in our forms for some purpose if we want. Okay, right now when we will do the work with a project, I will try to use, but right now you just understand that why we can use excuse me, we can use this disabled attribute. Okay, there is another attribute, size attribute, and it specifies the size in characters for the input field. So for example, first name, last name, and here if I go with address, let me have a line break and the address, and again. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to say input type, the type is text, should be in double quotes, and the name, of course it is address. I have used this address tag or address element before. Here I'm just using it for the demo purposes, just to explain you the purpose of size. We are not using the size, or let me say here I should write size, okay, just for your explanation. And the value for this is also size, okay, and the actual size here I want size should be, suppose, 8 characters, okay. I've saved it, move on to the browser, and you can see that here the size field is just limited to the 8 characters. If I increase it, if I use it 50 characters, I've saved it, you can see the field increases. It depends upon us that what kind of size we want to give to our input attribute, or to the specific field we are going to use, okay. So hope you guys understand this until now. These were the attributes we used in HTML4. Still we can use them in HTML5, but they are the more specific for HTML4. Now I'm going to use some HTML5 attributes, and for that, first of all, I'm going to use the height and width attribute of HTML5. Let me delete it, all this, and here I should say HTML5. Sorry, the title is HTML5, and I'm going to use height and width attribute. They specifies the height and width of an input whose type should be image, okay. Because mostly we define the type attribute, height and width with the images. So, or if you have anything else, you can define with that, but right now I have only this example in my mind to help you guys. So here I'm going to say input, the type of this input is image, and I'm using source, and the source is images. I have a folder here already, I've used it in my previous videos. I'm going to use the butterfly image right now, okay. And the alt text for this is, I have defined already the alt text. The alt text is, the alternative text is if our browser cannot show the image because of any reason, because of the internet speed, or browser is not compatible, or any previous or old browser we are using, so it will shows the alternative text. So it should be descriptive, that the image is about, okay, the image is about. So our image is about, it's a butterfly, so I'm just using a butterfly here, and I'm saying that it should, the width of this would be 100 pixels, okay. It depends upon us how we want to define within pixels or percentages, but right now I'm just saying we're using the pixels. And height should be 80, okay, 80 pixels. Close it, let me save it, going on to the browser, and you can see 100 is the width and 80 is the height. It's a very small image. Let me increase the width and height of the image, so 300 pixels and 200 pixels. So it is going to, you can see it increases the size. So this height and width attribute helps us in the size, in the height and width, in the setting of height and width of the image, okay. Now let's move on to the next attribute. I just bring this line to the next line because of the visibility purposes. Now I'm going to use the list attribute. It refers to a data list element that contains predefined options for an input element. So how we can use it? Let me use the line break tag, or I think we don't need it. Let me delete it. Okay, input and the list attribute, and it is about colors. Okay, so I'm saying data list ID. ID is colors. Right now I don't think we need IDs, but we will, because we haven't covered the IDs in classes. We will cover in the next few videos, I think. Okay, so I'm going to use the option element. Okay, and I'm assigning it to value, and it is blue. Okay, then the next option, and the value is green. Let me copy paste these for a couple of times. Okay, here I should say pink and yellow. Let's save it. And moving on to the browser. Okay, you can see there is a button and the list is showing below. So this is the main purpose of the list attribute, that it shows the lists of it shows the list. If you want to show anything within the list or anything in a list format, then we can use this list input. Okay, I shouldn't go with this ID colors because it is more for the okay, I should go with this because this ID it was showing me the button. Sorry, I should use it. And sorry, we can see that actually I have experienced this thing today. So thanks to you guys who are also helping me in learning. And we can see that the ID, the button is here, those download button, it is here. So we can choose anything, whatever we want, any color from the list, whatever we want. Okay, this is the main purpose of the list attribute. Now let's move on, and there is a very important attribute that is known as placeholder. We use this placeholder in our forms. We use it like abundantly. Okay, the placeholder in our forms. So the placeholder attribute specifies a hint that describes the expected value of an input field. We can use the placeholder for a hint, or to let the person know, to let the user know that what is the purpose of this input field. So for this, let me explain you by using the input type, placeholder. So here it is text, and say username. Okay. The input type is text. The name is username. Look at my weird spellings. And now here we are going to say placeholder. Okay. Now this placeholder is going to define the user that what he has to do in the specific input field. So what is user name or first name? Let me go to the first name. Save it, and here within this input field we are asking from the user that mention your or write your first name here. So user is going to write his or her first name. Okay, so this input field or this input field which has the attribute placeholder, and this placeholder is quite definable, or it is quite descriptive that what is the purpose of this input field. So here this input field is for the first name of the user. Okay, or we can say username, or just user and first name. Okay, I think I have explained it to you guys and you are understanding it well. But let's move on to another attribute. It is also a very important attribute. So we use it many times in our forms, and this attribute is required attribute. So the required attribute, it specifies that an input field must be filled with the data. There should be something within that, and required attributes work with the text, with search, with the URL, with the font, contact, email, password, and numbers, checkboxes, radios, and files. Okay, so I'm going to use it with the same with the username, and the placeholder is this one, and I should say here I'm just going to say required. Okay, let me make it more descriptive for you guys, and here I should go with another input, and the type of this input is submit. We have covered this submit type already in our previous videos. You can go and check it if you don't know about it. Okay, so here I'm saying submit, but I didn't write anything. Okay, I just click on the button submit and it notifies me that please fill out this field. Why? Because I have written required, that this username or this input field is required. We have to write something within this input field. So if I'm writing Jessica, it is not notifying me with anything. Okay, so if I just click on it, it is saying please fill out this field. Hope you guys got my point, that what I'm going to say or what I'm going to explain here. I think it's enough for this lesson, and in the next lesson I want to finish this HTML. I want to move on to the CSS part. So I think in 2 or 3 videos we will finish our HTML5. If you like the video, do hit the like button, subscribe the channel, it will help me. And if you want to know anything, do let me know in the comments below. I will surely try to explain you. Bye for now. See you next time. Ciao, ciao.